Hello everyone, how are you doing? Welcome to Global Gist with BJ. I have an important topic to talk about. So, President Trump once said that America is for full-blooded Americans, and it sparked a whole lot of rumor. Some people were saying the full-blooded Americans are the Native Americans. Some people were saying it's for the Indians, the Native Indians, right? And the Black Americans are also saying, "Oh, we are the real Americans." Who do you think is the real American? Just watch these people speak, right? And then with I'll come back with the whole commentary. Stay tuned. Don't just miss us, okay?
Donald Trump said that America is for true, pure blooded Americans. So I just wanted to ask my Native American friends if you guys cared if I stayed, since it's only for you guys now. Wonder where Trump's going to go. Anyway, just asking your permission. If I'm probably the first white guy that ever did that, can I have your permission to hang out with Native Americans? Like I will. Well, we can all do like business together and stuff, and I'll come work for you. I just don't want to go anywhere. I like it here.
So the president then went and said that America is for pure-blooded Americans only. This show is about to get very, very interesting because that right there, a pure-blooded American, that's interesting because we know that's not white people. We know that y'all not from America. We know that. So that gets them out the way, off rip. Okay? So now we have the Africans. We know they're from Africa. The actual Africans, we know they're from Africa. They came here. We know they're from Africa. Okay, that gets them out the way. We have the Latinos that are mixed with the Spaniards. Okay, we can get them out the way. Okay? The Mexicans I'm not going to really put in here because the Mexicans were a part of America before they were called Mexicans, before lines were drawn in the sand. So this is where we're getting tricky, okay? Then we have what they call the Native Americans, who they like to say were here, okay? They like to say this is their land. They built these pyramids. They built all of this shit. They were the ones that were here. But we have texts and documents and proof that that's not true either. We have texts and documents and artifacts and paintings on the cave walls and everything. We have it all that shows that's not true. We're not going to go by DNA because we know that's not true. So that leaves one people who they have placed so much propaganda around, who they have created so much rhetoric. There is a one people that nobody really knows, but everybody knows where they come from. See, Africans get to be called Africans, Mexicans get to be called Mexicans, Europeans get to be called Europeans, Asians get to be called Asian, but it is the Black American that has to be called African American. One part of it is a lie and one part of it is the truth. And some would argue that the American part is the lie and that the African part is the truth, strictly because our skin color is brown. So when your skin color is brown, you have to come from Africa, right? Right? No. Okay? When you find a brown Indian, they don't call them a African Indian. When you find a darker Asian, they don't call them an African Asian because we're there. We're everywhere. When you find a person from Europe that's, their family has always been there and they are of darker skin, you don't call them a African European, but you call us the African Americans. So which one is it? Are we from Africa or are we from America? Or do you just have to put the Africa in front of us, but we're really from America, but you can't understand how we're from America and we look the way we look? So pure-blooded Americans, and some are saying that doesn't exist. The truth is everywhere. It's in the books. It's on the maps. It's in the depictions. It's in the bones. They're not digging up bones of Native Americans. They're not going in pyramids and stuff like that and finding the Native Americans. They're finding us. They're finding brown people, melanated people, people who look like myself. So when he's talking about these pure-blooded Americans, there's only one people he can be talking about. And he knows who he's talking about. He can't say it out loud. He can't say it on TV. He can't say it. He can do a lot of things. And he can do a lot of things. But what he's never really going to come fully out and say is this country is for the pure-blooded Americans that we now call black people or African American. He can't say that. So everybody's looking, thinking that it's the Native Americans, but that's not true. That's not true. And while every dog is having its day, their day is coming. Their truth is coming. And I want to see how they're going to maneuver out of that truth and what spins are going to be spun. But baby, the only one that's going to be left standing is the truth. Is the truth. Everybody knows who we are. We're everywhere. We're depicted everywhere. But yet, we do not want to accept who we are. Black people, African Americans, the reclassified Indigenous American is the pure-blooded American.
So President Taco just came out and said that the United States is for pure-blooded Americans only. Yes, he said that the United States is for pure-blooded Americans only. But I was called, everything under the sun when I said they were trying to meet a narrative of an all-white America, and everybody thought I was crazy. But the own president of the United States said that. But the only funny part is that a pure-blooded American, are they real? Do they exist? Or are they one of his, imaginary friends? Because besides, the Native Americans that were here originally, if you could find me one, it's on. It's on. I'll bow down to you. But that's what our president would like for the future of this country. Let me know in the comments what you guys think. Spread this video for awareness, my loves. I love you. Be safe out there, especially in these times, if we're a little melanated in color. I love you.
America's for the purebloods, quote unquote, then why haven't we had an indigenous president yet? All these years of presidency, we got a black president who is not indigenous to America at all. Before we had an indigenous president, to this day, 2025, we have not had an indigenous president. We barely have enough officials as far as lawmakers who have indigenous blood in them. Because we know how this country feels. When an indigenous man or woman walks into the room, everybody who is not indigenous, typically of European descent, feels offended that they're standing there. They feel that they should not be standing there. Mind you, they are the original owners of this land. So, again, if it's for purebloods, as you say, when is everybody else going to fall in line with that? When are we going to start seeing America return to, its indigenous nature? When are we going to see more indigenous people on beauty ads and commercials and, things like that? When are we going to see more indigenous PR? When are we going to see more indigenous faces when we think and talk about America? You can start with that.
People who look like me are the real Americans. Because if you think about it, if black people are African because their race evolved in Africa, and white people are European because their race evolved in Europe, and yellow people are Asian because their race evolved in Asia, and that means people who look like me are American because our race evolved in America. Our race is native to this continent. Therefore, we as a unit are indigenous. Our race is native, right? We are the real Americans. Now, people they refer to the USA as just America in and of itself, but the whole thing's America, North and South. We're the real Americans. That's not I'm not trying to be racially supremacist or this isn't hate speech. This is just me applying the same rules and terminology the way we do with all the other races and continents. That's just reality. And it should matter to you if you're someone who's Latino and you have mixed indigenous ancestry, because a lot of these people at the border, a lot of these people that are refugees from all these horrible places in South America that have been ruined by the USA and stuff, those are indigenous people, right? If you come from an immigrant family in the U.S. from somewhere in Latin America, you got screwed over because you're indigenous. It's that, like, that's crazy. We're the real Americans that are being treated like outsiders, immigrants. And if you didn't understand that already, that's all I wanted to say to help you understand that.
What do you mean y'all thought we were immigrants? Y'all thought black people, black Americans, African Americans, blacks, us, were immigrants. Hardest lessons, clearly, it's going to take me a long time to learn and figure out is that other people just don't know what I know. I assume that a lot of people know what I know. That's why y'all keep saying that, huh? That makes sense, I guess. That we're next. Y'all think, what? How do y'all not know how long we've been a part of this country? Black people fought in the Crispus Attucks. Did everybody not, at my little church, every Black History Month, there was this huge thing. I'll never forget when I came to my grandma's house. It was a huge package, and it was all of these cards. They were ABC cards, but on every card is the letter of the alphabet and an important person from Black history. And that was what we did all February at Sunday school. Like, we learned those cards. We would have to, and then we'd line up at like the Black History program, and we'd have to read them out loud. So I guess I just assumed, oh my God.
It is kind of jacked up to find out that, people around the globe thought that African Americans were immigrants. That's pretty jacked up. Like, all this time y'all thought we were immigrants? I don't understand even why people would think that, because here you have the whole Caribbean, the whole South America, and then we have North America right here. And you would think that, okay, yeah, I mean, everybody else is cool. You know what I'm saying? Jamaicans are Jamaicans, Haitians are Haitians, you know what I'm saying? Why on earth would people think that we are immigrants when we got over here before the founding of the country? Why in the world would people think that we're immigrants? African Americans, I mean. Okay? That is so weird. Like, and to see how it actually affected how they voted. I mean, this really opened up a can of worms right here. This really did open up a can of worms. It affected how they voted. It affected all the things they would say about us for a long period of time. Like, they really thought that we were the immigrants of the United States of America. So how is it that people would think we are immigrants? That makes absolutely no sense. All this time. And see now, then when I saw that Cuban lady on here talking about you know what? African Americans are the only ones who can help us. For the longest time, we have been clowning African Americans, blah, 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 and they're the only ones that can help us. They can't be deported. So, even though the video was honestly true, right? But when you say that, right? You said that out your mouth, right? That means that the only reason why you would even try to be around us at this point is to secure your status here? After talking all that trash? She was talking about Cubans. I'm going to specifically say she was talking about Cuban America. She was talking about Cubans, okay? Nobody else. I don't want to put all the whole... She was talking about that because she was Cuban. She said, I've always been with them, but if you're going to kiss anybody's butt, you're going to have to kiss Black American butt. What? This thing is blowing my mind, really. Because the fact that, because I did a whole video about this, and I was telling someone from out of the country, talking about when we come over to the country, we like to align with white people because that's where we get our success from. And I said flat out, you do not get your success from white people. White people don't even want you here. You get your success from Black people. That just went completely over a lot of people. Say just like, they're like, how in the world is that? I mean, it seems like the globe does not consider us. And then they would always say, what kind of power do you have? What kind of power do African Americans have? Do you not realize? Do you not realize that there's white people in Congress? And then guess what? Guess who's next? Guess who has the most power in Congress? Black Americans. Now I understand. Now I understand that the globe, many, probably the majority, just thought we were just over here. Just thought we were just over here. And now it makes sense why every time they look at us, right, they say they don't consider us actual founders of the country. All they do, they sit there and they say slave. When they see us, they say slave. That's what they see. That's what they see. That's what they see. Because I've actually looked at comments and been called it myself slave. So they're actually living in the 1700s still. The globe is living in the 1700s and the 1800s when they look at us. When they look at African Americans, that's what they look. So that's actually to our advantage in a lot of different ways. So while we were over here fighting for everyone's civil rights, everyone else was looking at us as that. That is so wild to me. And now that the same people they were chasing are kicking them out or saying, we're not going to kick you out. And that's another thing. They're saying, we're not going to kick you out, really, if you work in agriculture or in hospitality. They're basically saying, we'll let you stay here if you're working the jobs we need worked. That says a lot. Okay, that says a lot. Okay, and the same people that they trying to, get proximity to are kicking them out of the country. Which I said that a long time ago in one of my videos. I'm like, y'all don't know what y'all talking about. What's going on? Flip, 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 flip. I don't know what's going on, but as an African American, just use it to your advantage.
Welcome back, people. Right. When the orange president said this, it sparked a whole lot of, a whole lot of reactions. People were beginning to, you know, say, oh, the black Americans are not Americans, right? Some people are beginning to say, we the native Indians are the Americans. And to be honest, let me tell you what I actually thought. I began to think, oh, is that the reason? Or could that be the reason why black Americans are saying they are Native Americans? Anyway, by the way, whatever it is, anyways, all I know, I choose to go with the black Americans were here even before the white Americans. So that is all I can say, right? I don't want to say more than this because I'm Nigerian. I'm not black American. I'm pure Nigerian. So I'd like to see, what do you think? Who do you think the pure blooded American is? I want to see that in the comments. Are you sure you're safe, or your head is still on that chopping board of the orange president because he's still not done with the whole deportation ish, right? I'd like you to know, is it the Latinos? Some Mexicans are even saying that they are. Some Latinas, a lot of them Hispanic, some of them are beginning to say, some Indians as well. Oh, they are the full-blooded Americans. I don't even know. And to say that the president that's even saying is for pure-blooded American, it's not even a pure-blooded American himself. It's just crazy. So I want to know, what do you think? What is your thoughts about this particular topic? I want to see it in the comments. And if you haven't subscribed, please go ahead, subscribe, like, and share this video, right? Let's have fun with it. And then probably we will learn.